So I talked to a fellow colleague, attorney friend of mine today, and we were talking about a legal issue that came up that I think's uh, kind of interesting, but also brings up why TikTok is so important. So I was talking to him about uh, oil rigs, drilling, liberals, conservatives. Essentially, Biden passed this order that revoked Trump withdrawing the ability to drill oil in certain areas like Alaska on the continental shelf because Trump revoked Obama's withdrawal. So Obama came out with an order saying we're not going to drill in these areas anymore. And then Trump said, nope, we're not going to do that anymore. And then Biden came out with an order saying that, well, we're revoking Trump's order. But before that, there was a lawsuit that was filed against President Trump saying that, well, you can't do this because under the statute, it says that the president can only withdraw, but the president can't come in and say that you that he can't add land again and say, oh, we're undoing this withdrawal. What's interesting is ABC News came out today and they said that Trump was going to try and undo what Biden did, but then they said, but legally he can't do that because there's a case that came out that said he couldn't do it. And so in my mind, I thought that was weird because why couldn't a president overturn what another president did? Why would that be binding? So I thought that was weird, but then just talking with my friend, we dug a little bit deeper. We found a case in Alaska by a federal judge, and this federal judge interpreted the statute by saying that you can withdraw land based off the statute, but a president can't undo that withdrawal based off the language of the statute. And so ABC News was saying that, well, Trump can't even do it based off this case. But what happened with that case was that it went up to the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals, and the Ninth Circuit came out and they said that, oh, well, because Biden came out and did this, it's moot, but we're vacating that order from the judge. So that order that the original federal judge came out with is no longer in effect. So ABC saying that, hey, yeah, this will apply, this law, this ruling will apply, it doesn't. But it still brings up interesting issue. And I don't think that's the way the statute is interpreted, because that essentially means that the president can only take away saying we can't drill here, we can't drill here, to the point where there's no places you can drill. And I don't think that's the purpose of the statute. I think the purpose of the statute is for the president to dictate on, hey, you can drill here, 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 and here, but you can't drill here, and they can bring it and take it away. So it doesn't make sense on how they interpret it. And then what the problem with how it's interpreted too is then that makes it political, because then if you have a liberal judge or president in office, then that liberal judge can just withdraw all the land, and then but then they can't. A conservative judge can't undo what liberal judge did. Liberal president can't do what liberal can't do what the can't undo what the liberal president did. So I think it's funny, and so I think that it is something that President Trump can actually do, and that he actually has the legal ability to do it, and that it was just a federal judge that made that decision. Ninth Circuit wasn't able to look at it, and the Ninth Circuit vacated that decision. So them saying that this is something that Trump can't undo, I don't think that's correct. But also, just from big picture standpoint, it is kind of strange that Biden would do something like that in this scenario. I guess this is political. So, I mean, I guess if you're environmentalist and you think it's a good thing, that's a good thing. From an environmental standpoint, great. From a political standpoint, it's not the greatest decision with what we're doing right now with Russia, as Russia has Europe at its knees, essentially, where they're dependent on a lot of natural resources from Russia. But also, it's been good for us because Europe has been slowly going to us for natural resources instead of to Russia. And so, just from a political standpoint, as far as our adversaries, this will make it harder for us to compete against Russia, and also make it easier for Russia to be able to still be a big power play. And so yeah, from that standpoint, it's like, well, what are you doing? Why are you empowering Russia? But either way, even though the national media is saying that, hey, Trump can't do this legally, there's no decision on it. And I think that he actually can do it. I don't think it was a good interpretation by that judge. But also, I don't like how the national media is able to come out with something like that and then, give it to the masses. And then we just spoon feed, eat that without fact checking them. And they didn't fact check themselves. They didn't have any legal help in looking at that. And they were all just supposed to believe it. So that's why TikTok is so important, because you can fact check the national media without this kind of forum where people can come in on and say, hey, I don't think this is right. And then we just have to believe what the national media says, whereas there's other forums where people can come in and say, you know what, I don't think that's accurate. So yeah, that's my big beef, is taking away TikTok also will empower the national media more.